I worked the register at a bakery in Munich, and an American walked in, grabbed 2 pretzels and a coffee, then stood at the counter waving his phone at me. Not near the card reader. Just waving it in the air like a magic wand. "It's not working," he announced. I pointed to the card reader. He waved his phone at that. "Still nothing? Do you have Apple Pay?" He asked. "We take cash or EC card?" His face went blank. "Cash, like physical money?" "Yes, euros." They stared at me like I'd suggested we trade in seashells. "But this is Germany. You guys are supposed to be advanced." He pulled out his phone again. "I can pay anywhere in America with this. Gas stations, vending machines, even food trucks. Here we use cash," I repeated. He looked around the bakery, genuinely confused. "Is this a historical thing? Like a themed restaurant?" He wasn't joking. He thought my 100-year-old family bakery was a medieval times situation. He asked if the village outside accepted normal payment. I told him the ATM was 2 blocks away. He left without buying anything. Came back 20 minutes later, furious, holding euro notes. "They charged me $8 just to take out money. That's illegal." I informed him that currency exchange fees were normal. He said his bank shouldn't allow foreign ATMs to charge him. He paid in cash, dropped the coins I gave him as change on the counter, and said, "You can keep that. I don't do coins." The coins totaled for euros. He'd just tipped me $8 to reject my payment system. By the way, this isn't me making fun of Americans. This is me documenting the exact culture shocks nobody ever prepares them for. If you're the kind of person who likes understanding the world instead of assuming it, you'll want to subscribe so you don't miss what's coming. Quick ones. American at a Berlin restaurant demanded Venmo the waiter. Another tried scanning a QR code on a park bench, thinking it was contactless payment. It was a city maintenance tag. Let me walk you through the greatest hits. I run a mulled wine stand at the Nuremberg Christmas market. American couple approached, ordered 2 wines. The man pulled out his phone. "We don't take cards," I said. "What do you mean?" His wife looked panicked. "We haven't carried cash in 5 years. There's an ATM near the main square." The man shook his head. "This doesn't make sense. Germans invented cars and rockets. You're telling me you can't process a credit card?" He said it like I was personally holding back technological progress. "It's tradition," I explained. "Christmas markets prefer cash." "That's not a real reason," he countered. "What's the actual reason?" "Transaction fees. We're small vendors," his wife jumped in. "So you're telling me Germany, a first world country, can't afford card readers?" She was dead serious. She thought we were too poor for Square. The man tried a different angle. "What if I call my bank? They can authorize a phone transfer." He actually started dialing. I told him that wasn't how anything worked. He insisted American banks could push payments internationally if needed. I asked if he'd used this service before. He admitted he hadn't, but was confident it existed. His wife suggested, I write down my bank details so they could wire the money later. For €4 mulled wine. I declined. They walked away talking about how Germany was stuck in the past and how they'd expected better from Europe. They came back 10 minutes later with cash from another vendor who'd taken pity and exchanged $20. Paid me, didn't say a word. I'm a pharmacist in Hamburg. American woman came in needing aspirin. Grabbed a box, came to register. Pulled out her phone. Cash or card, I said, pointing to the EC reader. This is my card. She waved her phone. It's connected to my card. We don't have contactless. She blinked. What year is this? We have a card reader. You can insert your physical card. I don't carry my physical card. That's the whole point of digital wallets. She said this like I was arguing against electricity. Do you know how many countries I've been to with just my phone? 12 countries. Never needed my actual card. Germany uses cash primarily. It's actually insane, she replied. Not rude. Genuinely bewildered. How do people buy things? With money, I said. She asked where the nearest ATM was. I directed her. She asked if I could just trust her, and she'd come back with cash. I said I couldn't release medication without payment. She asked to speak to the owner. I told her I was the owner. She tried explaining that in America, pharmacies were part of the healthcare system and couldn't refuse service. I explained this wasn't America, and also I wasn't refusing service, just requiring payment. She asked if I took Zelle. I told her I didn't know what that was. She showed me her phone. It was a money transfer app that only worked between US banks. See? This is why I tell these stories. Most travelers assume their way is the world, until it isn't. If you'd rather be someone who learns these things before embarrassing yourself across the Atlantic, tap subscribe. That's how you stay 3 moves ahead. She left, came back with cash, paid, then asked for a receipt for her lawyer. I gave her a receipt. She studied it and asked why it was in German. I didn't answer that. I manage a small hotel in Heidelberg. American guest called the front desk at midnight. Angry, "Your minibar doesn't work," he said. "What's wrong with it?" "There's no payment system." I took a Coke and there's nowhere to scan out. Explained minibars were honor system. He'd be charged at checkout. Long silence. That's insane. How do you know what I took? You tell us. What if I lie? Then you lie, I said. Most people don't. He was astounded. In America, every item has a sensor. The second you pick up a drink, it charges your room. That's how you prevent theft. He said this like he was teaching me business basics. We trust our guests. That's not a business model, he shot back. What's your theft rate? Very low. Because people are scared of getting caught, he insisted. You need accountability. I told him the system worked fine. He said he'd worked in hotel management for 3 years, and this was amateur hour. He demanded to speak to the owner. I told him the owner was asleep, and I was night manager. He said he'd email corporate. I informed him we were a family-owned hotel with no corporate. He hung up. Next morning at checkout, he reported taking 1 Coke, 1 water, 1 beer. I charged him. He paid with his physical credit card he'd finally found it in his luggage and asked for an itemized receipt. I provided one. He studied it, then asked why we didn't charge tax on the minibar. I explained it was included in the price. He said that was confusing and American itemization was clearer. He left a review. 3 stars. Minibar technology outdated. I worked the ticket counter at Cologne Central Station. American rushed up 5 minutes before his train. I need a ticket to Frankfurt. I told him the price. He tapped his phone on the counter. Nothing happened. He tapped again. Sir, you need to pay. I am paying. He kept tapping his phone. We don't have contactless here. Cash or card. He looked horrified. I'm going to miss my train because you don't have Apple Pay. He said it like I'd personally invented our payment system to inconvenience him specifically. There's an ATM. I don't have time for an ATM. He was panicking now. Can I pay online? I'll buy the ticket on my phone right now. He started typing. I told him the app took 10 minutes to process, and he had 4 minutes. He asked if I could spot him the ticket, and he'd pay me back via PayPal. I explained that wasn't possible. This is insane, he muttered. Germany has the Autobahn. You have fast trains, but you can't take digital payments? He was spiraling. What if there's an emergency? What if someone needs to escape quickly? Then they use cash, I said. He asked if he could pay on the train. I explained, conductors only took cash or physical cards, not phone payments. His eyes widened. So if I get on without a ticket, I get fined. But I also can't buy a ticket because you won't take my money. He'd logic puzzled himself into believing Germany's train system was a trap. A German woman behind him handed me a 50-euro note and said something in German. I sold him the ticket. He stared at her. Did you just buy my ticket? She shrugged. You were holding up the line? Tried to add her on Venmo to pay her back. She walked away. He ran after her asking for her phone number so he could wire the money. She ignored him. He made his train but stood at the door yelling, "How do I pay you back?" until it departed. I'm a cashier at an Edeka in Stuttgart. American man came through with a full cart. Unloaded everything. I rang him up. 43 euros. He tapped his watch on the card reader. Nothing. Tapped again. We don't have that, I said. Card or cash? This is my card. He showed me his watch. It's synced to my bank. Physical card only. He looked at the line forming behind him. Okay, this is a problem. He pulled out his wallet. No cards, just his driver's license. I have Apple Pay, Google Pay, and Samsung Pay. One of those has to work. None of them work here. He stared at his groceries. So what do I do? ATM is outside. I can't leave my groceries here. Someone will take them. He was serious. I assured him I'd hold them. He didn't believe me. Can you lock them up? I'll keep them behind the register. He made me promise 3 times. Left. Came back with cash. Paid. Then asked for a receipt. To prove the groceries were his in case anyone asks. I gave him a receipt. He studied each item. Why are the prices different from the shelf? Deposit on bottles, I explained. You charge me extra to buy bottles. You get it back when you return them. His brain broke. So I have to come back here to get my money back? Or any German grocery store? He held up a water bottle. This costs me €1 now, but later it's free if I bring back the bottle. He was trying to find the scam. What if I don't return it? Then you paid the deposit. That's a tax, he declared. You're taxing me for drinking water? It's environmental, I said. That's what a tax is. He was getting loud now. You can call it whatever you want, but charging me money that you give back later is taxation. People were staring. He paid, took his groceries, left the bottles. Keep the deposit. I don't negotiate with environmental extortion. The deposit was €3. He'd rather lose money than participate in recycling. I work at an RL station outside Freiburg. American pulled up, filled his tank, walked inside, tried tapping his phone on the counter. €40, I said. Cash or card? This is a card. Phone tap. It's connected to my MasterCard. Physical card. He sighed deeply. Of course, Germany doesn't have tap to pay. He went back to his car. Came back. I don't have cash or my card. Can I give you my credit card number and you manually enter it? That's not secure, I said. It's my card. I'm authorizing it. We can't process numbers without the physical card. He thought for a moment. What if I show you my banking app? You can see I have money. He showed me his phone. I saw his account balance. Still couldn't charge him, sir. I need payment. Hey, this is payment. He was waving his phone. This is actual money. You can see it right there. He zoomed in on his balance. $63,000. I obviously have €40. I need cash or a card. He asked if I took checks. I said no. He asked if I had Venmo, PayPal, Cash App, or Zelle. No to all. He asked if he could leave his watch as collateral and come back with cash. I told him that wasn't possible. He asked what Germans did in this situation. I said they carried cash. Finally, he called his wife. She was at the hotel. She had their physical card. She drove 20 minutes to the gas station, paid, drove back. He stood outside the entire time talking about how America would never tolerate this backward system. His wife paid, didn't look at him, got back in her car. He followed, still talking. The best was the American businessman in Frankfurt who tried to tip me with Bitcoin. I work at a traditional German restaurant. He'd finished his schnitzel, asked for the check, handed me his phone, showing a QR code. That's 0.003 Bitcoin, he said. Should cover the meal and tip. We take euros, I replied. This is better than euros. Bitcoin is global currency. He wasn't trying to be difficult. He genuinely thought he was helping me. By tomorrow, this could be worth more. I'm actually overpaying you, I declined. He seemed hurt. Do you not believe in cryptocurrency? I believe in euros. He tried explaining blockchain for 5 minutes. I waited. He realized I wasn't converting. Finally pulled out cash, paid, then handed me his business card. When Germany adopts Bitcoin, call me. I'll set you up with a wallet. I smiled. He left. I threw away the card. The card was in English. Didn't list a German address, just said blockchain consultant. Here's what I learned. Americans assume digital equals advanced. Cash equals backward. But we're not behind. We just never forgot that physical money works everywhere. Requires no apps, no internet, no battery, and no customer service line when it glitches. We didn't reject the future. We just remembered the present. And that's the whole point of this channel, understanding how culture really works, not how we assume it should. I publish stories like this every week. If this gave you even one wait, really, moment, subscribing ensures you never miss the next one. Got more stories where? Americans discovered German efficiency doesn't mean what they think it means. Train systems, bureaucracy, Sunday shopping laws. Subscribe and I'll keep exposing the culture shocks nobody warns you about.